Hello!
And welcome to the Geeks Are Wired podcast, where this week we have new wiring and can actually do a podcast.
So we're going to go ahead and talk about video games, movies, TV, comic books, technology, and TLDR, the Internet of Things.
And this week we have
To tell you about how to contact us. You can contact us at geeksarewired@gmail.com, or you can give us a call, 801-896-4335. That spells geek. You can check us out on Patreon, where you can set your monthly
goals.
Oh, I ruined it.
It's your monthly goals.
Yeah, just monthly goals.
We were doing so well, fixing each other's mistakes.
It's okay.
Isn't that?
And Dave is great.
Yes, Dave is still great.
Dave
you can
is
also
great.
be great with him
Yeah.
or her.
And who's great with Dave this week? This week, Dave is great with
Dave?
Bill.
Oh. Well, I was going to say you also can get access to the podcast early that way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can get access to the podcast.
There's
early
also
that
a
way.
way to be greater or greatest.
To be greatest.
And
Or
chat
you
with
could
us on
just-
Discord.
Yes.
You can just give us a little bit. Help us out.
This is so random.
Yeah. We also have...
Anthony.
Hi, Bill.
Hi.
We have Anna.
Hi. We also have a Joey.
Hello, and Ted's here.
Oh, that's me. Hi, guys.
Hi.
There's also a Bill.
Where?
I started with...
No, didn't.
Actually, we started with Ted.
Yeah, we started with Ted.
You just weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Actually, you ended up segueing into
Yeah, the stuff we need to cover. Man,
More
yes.
stuff.
We sometimes do the intros first.
We are so coordinated here at Geeks Are Wired. We planned it like this. This is all scripted.
That's how we segue.
Script ed. I put the Ted in scripted.
So Microsoft, right?
Yes.
They're continuing with their recent, usage of letting you use whatever system you want. They've got, the SQL Server and the .NET stuff on Linux. They've got Xbox Live on the Switch. Now they've got games coming to Steam.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
You get so their entirety is be able to play games on whatever you want to play them on.
Man, that's crazy. Most game systems or companies are like, nah, you gotta play on our system and that's it.
So that's a big change actually is happening. Microsoft came out saying that before E3.
Mm-hmm.
Since E3, or at E3, suddenly there was a lot more collaboration happening with some of the other game
Who else?
companies. Google.
Mm.
But we'll get into that one temporarily. And it's kind of a interesting one. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that one. So Microsoft is making sure the games will work on the Xbox, the PC. You can get them through whichever. You can have your monthly subscription.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I've got a few games from Microsoft that I have on Steam there, like the Age of Empires games. I've had those, but those are getting old.
So,
And I just bought one for Anna on Steam.
I love those games.
So that was the other thing. So there's all of these sequels. There's Elder Scrolls 27, Mortal Kombat 93, and pick your Mario Party 108. And then there's bring back the old games. They're re-releasing Age of Empires in modern HD.
They've already done that, though.
Yeah.
They've got Age of Empires 2 with HD.
That's what I bought
and they have
Anna.
AoE 3 with HD as well.
I think
And
I think it was all of them, wasn't it?
And
Was it one?
they stay
Maybe
extremely
not one.
true to the original. They have the same bugs. It's just really nice looking now instead of very pixelated.
I mean, Blizzard did that with StarCraft also. So
I think HD re-releases are definitely valuable, and it kind of as long as they're good with the art, it kind of helps that nostalgia because you go back and you have all these fond memories of an old game, and then you turn it on and it looks terrible and it's not how you remember it at all.
right.
And so I think the HD remakes definitely help with replayability.
Well, and
So
plus,
this will be 4.
so
AoE 4?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
the thing is that if the gameplay was good and it kind of had to be when the graphics were stink,
Right.
then it makes sense to bring it forward with better graphics and really keep the same gameplay as close as you can to the original. Because good gameplay is hard to come by. So making like changes to the gameplay doesn't really make sense.
Right. And I think I'm kind of excited for, like, if Microsoft is opening up their catalog, because they've got some cool things, like the Halo series. And so if they release that kind of stuff on Steam, that could be really, really nice.
The
So-
first 2 games came out on PC.
Well,
Not
these-
Steam, but PC.
Yeah,
so
that was
these
a
will
long
still
time
be
ago.
I
on
know.
PC. I'm not sure if their exclusives will be, but their exclusives are going to be part of day one release on their subscription package. And their subscription package, you will get. They ended up combining their Xbox Gold and Game Pass. One was $10, one was $5 a month. So you combine them together, and they're $15 still. But you can get games. So you get free games a month, completely free games multiple times a month, and you get access to a large library, kind of like how PlayStation's been doing it for a
Didn't they
while.
already do that?
They had them individually.
Okay.
So you're saying it's going to be like the PlayStation one where you get, like, weekly games or monthly games,
They-
and
Well, there's a giant library of games that is just available.
Oh,
all the time.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it's way different.
yeah, the
Okay.
PlayStation one was just like, here's a title, here's a title.
That's what Xbox was doing
and
before too.
As long as you downloaded it and you stay subscribed continuously, you have access to that.
So
Forever.
Xbox Gold, which I think they changed to that model, it used to be if you claimed it, it's yours,
Mm-hmm.
even when you cancel Gold.
Oh, that's cool.
Game Pass was there's a library of games. You were paying a monthly subscription. You can download, play any of these games. So it'll be available on the Xbox and on PC.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense, though, because the Xbox ports and stuff, like, those are pretty much designed and built on a PC anyway. The Xbox architecture was very close to a PC. Like, there wasn't an Xbox emulator for a long time. You would just convert the games to run on a computer. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
For the original Xbox or the new one?
The original.
No, for you.
Right.
Where were you talking about the original Xbox?
For which one? I don't know. Which part? Were we
All right, whatever.
The fact that it was X. I don't know. Are you talking about the subscriptions?
Mm-hmm. Because Joey went on to talking about the original Xbox.
So they're available on PC once you have them?
That's for the new games, not the old ones.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's why I was trying to figure out where that came from.
Actually, they've been re-releasing a bunch of the old
I know
ones.
they have, but they've been ports. Like they've been redoing them.
So new ones for sure will be available on both
Yes,
platforms.
Yeah, the new Microsoft exclusive ones.
Gotcha. Okay. That's still exciting though.
Yeah.
They've churned out a lot of games.
Yes, and they've actually, so that'll be the new Halo, which comes out with the new Xbox console, which comes out holiday season 2020.
Oh man, so that soon?
They're the last one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Nintendo already released theirs.
Uh,
PlayStation's gonna be releasing theirs. I don't know when.
holiday season 2019, and Google's releasing theirs
Oh, yeah,
holiday
Google's-
season,
Google's in
early
the game now,
holiday
too.
season 2019.
So wait, is there a new Nintendo console other than the Switch? Or
No.
you saying
Well,
this-
Switch, I guess Switch
I
was
think
the
Switch
first
counts as
under
the new generation.
Gotcha, yeah, because the Nintendo consoles kind of went through some quick iterations. They kind of flopped on the Wii U.
and they had a major change.
I
Well,
don't think it was a flop. I mean,
I
okay,
don't think
maybe
they
people didn't buy lots, and
I just think they didn't advertise it very well.
yeah, but I think it's definitely was better than the Wii, and it was a good upgrade.
Yeah,
So
it's just on the Wii they advertised it quite a lot, and it was new and different, and that's what sold it. And the Wii U was kind of
More of the same.
not new and different, just the
Kinda-
Wii U with HD graphics.
Yeah,
Right.
I felt like the Wii U was kind of gimmicky because it's just like, hey, you have
I
a
loved
screen
it,
you
but-
can hold.
you get an iPad. Well, that was great because you could actually play the Wii while someone else was watching TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Which-
nice thing about the Wii U tablet versus the Switch is that the Wii U games that had touchscreen design in place, you were guaranteed to have that all the time. With the Switch, a lot of games aren't going to design for the touchscreen because you're hooked up to the TV some of the time.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's
So,
just like leave it on the
The
base.
touchscreen's kind
pick up
of
the controllers.
useless. In
Is
a way.
the
It's secondary?
the Wii U pad available to connect to the Switch?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nope.
I think the Wii U pad is hooked direct. I think you can only hook it to the Wii U.
That's lame. Oversight. Usually Nintendo's been Well, I guess not. No, that was PlayStation. I was going to say they're better about being backward compatible, but that's just not true at all. So
The Wii U was the only one that was backwards compatible
Yeah,
for
the
that
Wii U-
generation.
well, the
No.
Wii U got the Wii got the
GameCube.
it had the consoles, the
Right.
virtual consoles that you could get,
Mhm.
which isn't exactly backwards compatible because you have
Mhm.
to buy it again.
Yeah.
But then the Wii U got would actually play
I
the
know.
Wii games.
And what I
But-
mean by that is from that generation, Xbox One, because it's part of that generation, couldn't play Xbox games for the longest time. PS4 can't play PS3 games unless you're streaming them.
I thought they could. They
No,
still
they
can't.
No, they still
Wow.
can't. You have to stream them because they basically play on a bunch of cloud PS3s, and if you don't have an internet connection with a low latency, you can't play them.
So that's something else that also came along. Is everyone is doing all the cloud stuff.
Do they realize that we don't have internet?
Okay, so
I don't think they do.
all right.
I mean,
So, okay, so Google identified that. Microsoft stated that you either will be playing from your local console or the Microsoft server farm consoles,
yeah, I
because
don't-
they've had that ability for.
either or, but it's just frustrating when you're like, well, this is going to be like you have to have online stuff to stream the game and blah blah blah, but like a lot of places in America, the internet just sucks.
All right, I guess.
I mean, it just
Well,
flat
there-
out
there's also
sucks.
data caps. I mean,
Yes.
like our internet, like our big internet provider here, Cable One, I guess it's Sparklight now.
whatever.
don't even know.
They
They'll be
like their
bought
base
again.
plan, $45 a month, is like 300 gig data cap. And if you're streaming like the entire video stream from that game, you're gonna blow through that cap pretty
plus
quick.
your inputs and outputs,
Hey,
like you're doing.
they
all
do
your-
have unlimited finally.
They
You
do.
just got to pay more for
It
it.
costs an arm and a leg.
I don't know.
It's
It's not much more now.
They
Some
don't
of their
take
plans
limbs.
are okay, but
so
But
what?
their ping times still suck.
So what Google said that they. So we'll just jump into that one. We'll be all over the place with all the consoles. How about that? Google said at 35 meg download, they can provide you 4K and high streaming and everything. If you,
What about latency?
they said they took care of it. You can play Mortal Kombat, a multiplayer game, at that. If your internet starts giving you issues and you go all the way down to like 5 meg, you still get 720.
so the thing with that is if you have 35 megs a second, that you'll probably let's see, yeah, so you'll hit a terabyte pretty quick, right? Like
Yeah.
60 hours or so.
My thing is you can have a gigabyte download, but if your latency is more than 80, you're not going to be able to play. You're going to start getting motion sickness and stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not even motion
You'll
sickness.
get
It's
input
just
lag.
It's just
Yeah,
bad input lag,
you,
yeah.
you shoot at someone as soon as you see them, and
Like with some games you could
You
adapt,
miss.
but yeah, FPS is like for multiplayer, no. Not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, if your latency goes up too high, it's just
That's
gonna,
why I
it's gonna
keep-
hurt you.
well, and it's
Hounding
not
on
even
that.
MPS. It's like
I know.
like an adventure game or whatever. You're running towards a chasm and you jump. If you don't jump at just the right time,
Yeah. Sometimes you can like compensate for that, like your brain will do it, but then sometimes they design those games so that you have to react as fast as possible. I'm
Mhm.
snapping my fingers here, but you can't hear it.
yeah.
And
So
if
no
you're-
Dark
if-
Souls for you.
Yeah, no Dark Souls, right? No, it doesn't matter. Dark Souls will buffer your input so you roll off a cliff 10 seconds later.
I was wrong. 10 is the minimum recommended. They can do 5, but it's not recommended. So 10 meg, but that's still 50 frames
What
per
about
second.
latency? I'm not saying anything about latency.
I know they didn't want to talk about it.
That's what I've been wanting to know as soon as this gotten announced.
But they tested this technology back in 2018 with Assassin's Creed on Chromecast, which is also interesting. You can buy their package, which is a controller that looks like an Xbox and a Chrome or a
Like a full Xbox with the. Oh, you mean an Xbox,
Xbox controller
controller? Oh, you should
Sorry,
be more
Xbox
clear about
controller.
that looks
Sorry, you're
more
right.
like the Pro controller.
The
to
Wii
me.
U Pro or the Switch Pro.
Okay. So there's that. And it's the 4K Chromecast.
Clearly, Bill doesn't game.
I just put, yeah.
Also, if it looked like an Xbox controller, the analog stick would be where the D-pad was. Just saying.
Yeah,
Oh,
those are just
yes, you're right.
So it's actually closer to a
PlayStation.
PlayStation controller.
Yeah, like a DualShock.
But in all actuality, it really does look like the Switch or Wii U Pro Controller.
It's nice though.
I have no
So
opinion.
how much does it set you back for one of these controllers? And
So-
and so all you need is the 4K Chromecast and one of these controllers?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
And then you can buy the games, and you can stream them, or you can subscribe to their package. If you get in the Founder setup, you spend $130, and that gets you 3 months subscription plus 3 months subscription to give away. And then if you already have the 4K Chromecast, you spend $30, I think is what it was, for just the controller.
So
Can you give this prescription to yourself?
So wait, $140? Does that gets you a controller? Does it get you a Chromecast?
$130,
too?
yes. The Chromecast 4K.
How much is the Chromecast 4K on its own?
It's normally like $70 or something. So that's actually a pretty decent deal,
Okay.
especially with the prices that controllers are normally going for lately. Like you're looking at $70 a controller.
We should just make our own.
And it's $10 a month for the Stadia. That's the name of their console, the system that they've done, their technology.
Oh,
$10
they have
a month.
base one too.
Are you
It's a
sure
free
it's not
tier.
Stadia?
Stadia. You're
Have
right,
you heard
Stadia.
it pronounced?
Yes, you are correct.
I was just thinking it kind of sounds like Stadium.
Stadia. You're right. The free one is buy the games. That's literally what the
Oh.
free one is.
I see.
So you pay for the games, you get access to them, and then
Yes,
all these are going to
At
be
least as
running in
long
the
as the
cloud,
service
though,
is on.
right?
correct.
Okay, so everything is cloud-based.
I'm slightly. I support the the evolution of technology, but I question how long it'll be around because there was a movie service that actually these really really old classic movies. That,
Blockbuster?
Clean
No.
Flicks.
no. They just had these. They almost
Hollywood.
went out. They're pretty much.
Angel Vid.
Actually, there is a company that burned down that lost a lot of original tapes of music not too long ago.
Yeah.
But that's a side note. So I guess having this in somebody else's hands, what's the guarantee that I bought this game? How long are you going? How long do I get to play it? Do I get to play it for 100 years? I
So-
can go dust off of my VHS
Yeah.
and
When
throw
was
it
the
in.
last- When was the last time you did that, Bill?
Dust off the VHS.
So this is the thing.
Also, you
Right.
got to worry about data rot as a thing too
Like,
on those things.
yeah.
but I can convert it, and I still have a physical copy. I have my
Maybe.
DVDs. I have my Blu-rays.
It might be too rotted by now.
So
Those CDs and
so
DVDs don't last
in
forever.
the example of
know.
gaming,
I
I
get
have
your
a
point,
Super
though.
Nintendo. I have an Atari. Those things are 30 years old now, and they're still chugging. And if I want, I can dust them off. I can fire it up, and I can play it.
You will probably have to replace the battery in the cartridge, but that's besides the point.
depending
For
on the
some of
cartridge.
them, yeah.
But so it's a valid argument, but I wonder, like, Anna and I have a large collection, not a large collection, but a collection of games and stuff like that. And the thing is we don't play them that often. We do play them from time to time. I think Anna plays them more. She plays like Neighbors Ate My Zombies at least a couple times a year.
Zombies ate my neighbors.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors. What did I say?
Neighbors ate my zombies.
Well,
It's the
I mean,
sequel.
that
Yeah,
would be an
it's-
intriguing twist.
It's the revenge. But anyways, my point is that most of the time when you have these collections of games and stuff, you haven't just have a collection of games. You don't have them to actually play them because
My Steam library.
oh yeah, that's a great point. Like I've got how many games on Steam and how many times I
but you have the option to.
I actually made a spreadsheet at one point that cataloged all the games I have and how many I had played. I've played probably 10-15% of them.
So let's say you
Bad.
buy a copy of Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and 5 years later they say, we're done supporting this, and your cartridge just stopped working. Would you be mad?
but I have a physical cartridge in that.
Yeah, so we have a physical controller, and we paid for the game.
We didn't pay for the game, we paid for the service associated with it.
No. You can pay for the game, or you can pay for the service.
But you're not paying for
You're
the
still
game,
paying
you're
for the
paying
service.
for access to the game. This is
Yeah.
a different thing. You're not paying for the physical media, you're paying for access to the game. What do the games
So when
cost?
I buy, they haven't
Probably
released
full
pricing.
price.
It's,
But okay, let's say
it's
you-
the same thing. You're
they-
paying for access to it, not
let's say Destiny 2. I drop the $60, buy Destiny, buy the expansions, buy all this stuff. I drop my money. I have bought the game. If I bought that in a physical form, I physically own this game.
Right.
And exclude the part that it's an online game. Maybe I should pick something that's not online, requires the servers.
right.
I-
But that's
I-
fine.
yeah.
It's a valid point.
Shit, what about if you buy it, but you download it instead? Because it's different from this, where it's all in the cloud.
Yes.
Like there's like three
because
different
we're
levels
dealing
here.
with Chromecasts here.
But the thing, so my I think my bigger point, I've got 2 points here. First off, when you buy a cartridge, it's different
Or a CD
than
or whatever.
buying a download or a CD or
Yeah.
what have you.
A physical item.
You're buying the physical media, and if that breaks, you no longer have access to it.
Correct.
Right? So there's pluses and minuses to both, and you have to expect that if the company goes under, if they decide that no one's playing that game, they're going to take it offline, and that's just an unfortunate thing. But I don't think that just because we paid for it that we're entitled to it forever. I don't think that's right, because if we,
You're done. No, you're done.
I don't
I'm
know if
away
you
from
guys heard
wires
that,
now.
but I apologize if the big buzz came in.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's right there.
Anyways, my point is that you're paying. You know what you're paying for when you get it, and yes, if I buy something and then like 2 weeks later it's no longer available, I'm going to be pissed and I'm going to want my money back. But if I buy it and I get a sufficient amount of value out of it by playing it, whatever, then I'm done, and that's fine. I've got the value out of it, But where I have these cartridges, these old cartridges, most of them I'm never going to play again.
My main concern here is I really enjoy retro games. Like I get nostalgia from them. I enjoy collecting them.
Right.
But if like a kid today, if they grow up playing on this console where everything's in the cloud, right, and they grow up a little bit, the next one comes out, they stop supporting this one. Those games might just be gone forever. If there's not a downloadable option of them anywhere, then those games could just cease to exist.
They could, but the video game industry has shown that they understand that there's a demand for retro games, there's a demand for old games, and I don't think that that's going to go away. I think that there's still going to be that retro whatever, but that is a good point, because this is a great way to keep people from stealing their games.
Right, but
Downloading it doesn't stop them from pulling it. Amazon's proven this many times. You have the books on your Kindle, and they go, "Oh, we lost the rights to have it in digital form," or there was updates, zoink.
Yeah.
Or suddenly your book has extra words in it that weren't there before.
And while there is a demand for retro games, that market could be filled by just the popular titles. And so, like, if there's a less popular title that you enjoyed on your Super Nintendo or whatever, it may never get a re-release. They're only going to be doing the big ones. And if one of those gaming companies goes under, Nintendo may not have the rights to bring that back out later. And so that game might just be gone forever, except for the physical copies that existed of it. And so if there's no download option, no option to run this off the cloud, these games could just poof, and then they're gone.
With that, even with companies being bought off, like Microsoft did have much of Sony's stuff. What if the Sony library goes to, or not Sony's, Sega's? Had a lot of Sega's. What if Sega's goes to Sony's?
Yeah, it can cause a lot of issues for the future.
Yeah, it could, and they're going to have to work that out. But I think the point is that you should buy these with the knowledge that you might not ever get to play them again, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, they should probably provide a disclaimer of some sort right up front to
I'm sure it's
let
in
the
the terms
consumer
of
know.
service.
I don't know. This isn't the only industry that has this problem. Your smart fridge. Your old fridge has lasted 30 years. Your smart fridge will last 5.
Yeah. I've also had my internet cut out last week for 2 days, and the most frustrating thing in the world was my Googles, like, I'd give them a command, they wouldn't do anything, and then all of them would respond, because apparently they coordinate in the cloud, which they couldn't really, reach. And so offline games would be great for when your internet's out, but if everything's online, you're SOL.
Well, you definitely are, and that's why you should be mindful of the type of things you're getting. You know what you're getting. But the thing is that I have right here in my hand right now tons of offline games. All I have to do is make sure that my phone's charged.
For now, until your phone goes to cloud only too.
Or, no, like I said, they can pull them back. That even though you download maybe a PC, maybe something that you can get it, download, and keep it offline. The moment like I said, Amazon has pulled full-on books back, going
iTunes done the same, and iTunes has also done that with music.
Yeah.
And movies. And so I mean, if you purchase something on iTunes, like you purchase a movie, you'd expect to have access to that going forward, right?
I think this is a natural progression of the thing that started with Napster. Even before that, it started with the VHS. Is really where this started, right? Because back before the VHS, they had, well, maybe even like the reel-to-reel, but that wasn't as ubiquitous, right? But the thing is that you couldn't own a movie very, very easily. Like, you had to have the reel-to-reel. You couldn't really copy it. Like, it was tricky. But then all of a sudden you got the VHS. So then you have all this fair use. But then you have, the movie studios and that saying, what about our intellectual property? And they're saying, we need to be able to protect, and you can't copy this and just make free copies of it because we expect to make money off of this stuff. We put this out to make money and do that. And so, there was a lot of fight back and forth, and they determined what was fair use, what wasn't fair use. And that moved forward into the Napster era where, the music was just free to everybody there for 5-10 years. They're basically, music was just free, right? I mean, it shouldn't have been, arguably, depending on, what the way you look at it.
Look at the radio. It's free.
You can't choose. You could not choose what song you wanted to listen to.
But you could record it.
You could.
And then
you could.
choose.
But then you had to deal with all the stuff that came with that. But there's a difference, because if a song you wanted was not played on the radio, then you didn't get it, and you wouldn't know when it was going to be played on the radio. So you had to sit next to it. I mean, it was more of a hassle, and so people would go out and buy it. They'd buy the CD. They'd buy the tape. But the Napster comes along, and now all of a sudden, music is just free. Like, as long as you have an internet connection, music is free. And now, there was a lot of hubbub about that. And, people, they came to a good middle ground. But the bottom line is that if I was a video game producer, if I was a music producer, and my whole goal was just to make as much money as I can, I wouldn't put any of them out in physical form, because then you could copy it. I would keep it all streaming. I'd just do all of it streaming. So, and that's their right, and it's our right as a consumer to say, no, I want a physical copy that I can use. And so you've got to be mindful. If you're going to do this, know that it comes at the price of, you're not going to have this in the future. And for one, I'm fine with that, because I don't play those games anymore. Maybe one night for nostalgia, it's fun.
Yeah.
But for all the time, it's not something that I do.
My thing with physical media is that I enjoy actually picking it up, even though on the Switch their cartridges are just little tiny things.
Yeah, it's like a little tab of acid.
You still have to.
They don't taste like that.
Yeah, don't lick it.
They're bitter.
Yeah, but you still have to go up to the console, or if you're playing it in portable mode, you still have to take out the cartridge, flip open the book or whatever you're storing them in, put it back, get the new one, put it back in.
Wait, you put the thing back where it came from? Don't you just throw it on the table and grab the next one?
That's how you lose the tiny cartridges.
They're very tiny now.
They're very tiny. But, that's fun to me, and then I can also just, go through it and actually physically see what games I have to play. And I know you can do that on the UI, but it's not the same to
There
me.
is. That's the same argument people have. I like records better. I like books rather than e-books. And, I get that.
Yeah, it's fair.
I have a large collection of books that I'm probably never going to read again, but I like having them around. They're comforting to have around, but you also have to be careful not to become a hoarder or whatever. But so, I mean, I can see both.
Yeah.
And I think it's just important that you have to realize that if you're choosing to purchase streaming media, it's temporary in its very essence, and you can't expect to have it forever.
I was going to go back to Google. I know, we kind of sidetracked. I kind of got us on this, but the other thing also with Google's is you don't just need to. Yeah, that's if you want to play on your television. You can still play on. They actually went with computer and tablets through Chrome.
So since it's streaming and it has nothing to do with your hardware,
Correct.
You can play it on pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool, and I like the barrier to entry, how low it is. You gotta have a Chromecast. Most TVs have Chromecast built in.
But it's the 4K.
I mean, most TVs are 4K now, so you're gonna have a 4K Chromecast built in.
I wonder, my TV has a Chromecast built in, but it doesn't. It's branded on the TV, like when I got it, it said Chromecast built in, but nowhere in like the menus or anything that does say Chromecast. And there's really no place to get like apps or anything like that in it. Like I've looked, I wanted to get
That's because
the HBO Go app on
Chromecast, all it really is you turn it on, it displays pictures or whatever, and then you cast to it from your phone.
No, I get it, but that's the Chromecast. But the built-in Chromecast for it, like my TV has, like my smart TV just has like Netflix and Amazon
Which
and Hulu and
those are
Crackle and
probably provided
So,
by the TV itself.
Probably,
Okay.
but there's nothing that says that it's a Chromecast or anything like that. It's very abstract, and so how to do that with the phone or with the thing? Maybe it would just work. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm assuming. So the Chromecast, all
Go
it
ahead
does.
and buy one and then bring it to my house. And
So
we'll try it out.
with Chromecast, you literally just throw a link at the Chromecast,
Right.
And a URL, and it's going to grab that stream and it's going to start streaming it, and that's all the Chromecast does. And so I'm assuming how this will work is you'll have an app or something on your phone, and you'll be able to throw a game at the TV.
They said through the Chromecast.
Through the Chromecast.
Or not through,
No,
through
on your
through,
phone.
Through Chrome.
Through
On your
Chrome.
phone. Oh, no,
Yeah.
and actually, no. That's something else. They did not say phone. They said
It's a
tablet.
Whatever. But
They
it's
didn't
through
actually
Chrome
go
on the
as small
tablet.
as phone. They only went as small as tablet.
Right, but what I'm saying is to start the stream, it's probably as simple as your phone is going to say, I want to play this game. And
I don't know
it's
about
gonna
that, because
throw it.
where you have a controller, I think you might be able to control it directly from the TV.
The Chromecasts do have Bluetooth, and so I'm assuming that you're
Yeah.
just tethering there, so then...
Well,
You're-
I'm assuming the controller is just Bluetooth,
You know,
and then you can
why
control it.
would you need to do that? Why not have a stream that's coming at you?
I know.
And have your thing connected to the Wi-Fi, just talking to the server.
I bet after you set up the controller, pressing a button on the controller would open a stream to your library through the Chromecast.
Right, but what I'm saying is we don't need to talk to the TV and make the thing send the thing to the TV and the TV send it to the internet. Just make your controller send it straight to the internet, and your stream reacts appropriately, is what I'm saying. So you don't need to Bluetooth it to your TV. That's an extra unnecessary step. You're just going to broadcast. It's going over the internet anyways. Why have an intermediate device?
Bluetooth is lower energy, and so the Chromecast is already talking to the internet, and so your controller will last longer if it's not doing Wi-Fi
That's an
all
extra
the time.
step and extra latency, though.
It is. They might be able to chop some out, but at the same time, if you have two devices on your network instead of one, is it going to cause more network latency or network
Where they
lag?
haven't been talking latency that much, either they just are ignoring it, or I'm wondering if they have some kind of like input prediction or something.
It's just going to start making you go diagonal.
Yeah, like the same thing the old multiplayer games do, and even the new ones still.
Overwatch.
Oh.
The old ones would just you were here and now you're 4 feet from here.
Mhm.
The new ones are like, you know how you were walking and you kind of looked like you might want to turn right a little bit?
Mhm.
We went ahead and did that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't want to do that? Oh, bummer. Well,
yeah,
you're here now.
Overwatch is like that.
Deal
but
with it.
The older games, they predicted you were going that way when actually you turned left. You would just teleport.
Right.
Because it matched up with what the client was, which is why lag switching was a thing. And why it worked. So, lag switching was where you, for people who don't know what it is, and maybe I'm explaining it wrong, but you were hooked up to a switch, you turned it off, moved somewhere, turned it back on, and then you were suddenly there, and the person shooting you isn't really shooting you.
So it
And
just
then
like
you could shoot them.
cuts your connection a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like the idea of the cloud only because it makes the barrier to entry for gaming so low. You need a Chromecast and a controller. It's like $130 for that premium package, and then you've got your system. Like, I mean, the cheapest console right now is like a Switch, right? And those are still like $300 or $400 for one that comes with a game.
Well, it depends on if you're... The 3DS is still supported, so I think that's technically the cheapest one.
Yeah,
right now.
but I'm going for like a big screen type console. And so if this can compete with big screen type console for $130, that is awesome. That's impressive.
Which will also be interesting because the other consoles haven't released their price points yet. Yes, they are full-on computer-size consoles instead of these little teeny tiny things. Because PlayStation, even though they're coming out like a month, if anything, later than the Chromecast is, they're like, it'll be an attractive price for gamers. It's like,
Yeah, so you're still looking at $500-$600 probably, especially on like the Xbox and the.
I'm still
the
kind of
PlayStation.
hoping they do pretty good. I kind of like.
I do like the idea of having a console.
Yeah.
Like I
like the physical hardware.
I'd be
just-
kind
I
of
like
sad
more,
if that
but-
just died.
Yeah.
I turned on my Xbox. I've been having issues with my Kinect. Went to watch HBO, killed it, went off to Google, told Google to watch the HBO. I didn't want to touch the
For
remote.
media streaming, absolutely.
Well, that's why I liked Xbox, is because they were such a neutral player. It's like the Roku. I can just say, hey, play, and it just takes care of it. Now that Google and Amazon are playing nice, it's not working yet, but hey, play this thing. Great, I'm out.
Man, that's what I really want is Amazon Prime on Chromecast.
Soon.
And I don't. Is it going to happen?
Yeah, they made a deal. They're saying it's supposed to be working sometime later this year.
Because like 3 years ago,
For
some
now.
guys made
Yeah.
a thing called Primecast, and it was an app that you could cast Amazon Prime to a Chromecast. It was there for like 2 hours before Amazon murdered it.
Well, it's because you're a developer. It's really hard to get this software to work.
It's really hard to get it to work when
Again.
Amazon won't let it.
Or vice versa.
So I think it's really nice. So having all of it in one place is really awesome because, like, if I wanted to watch Despicable Me, my alternative option, like, my first option would just be, sup, G,
Yeah.
go ahead and play Despicable Me, right? And
Yeah.
and it'd be like, oh, I found it on here, and we're going to go ahead and cast that to your TV. We're good to go. Boom. And then it doesn't care any account that I have hooked up to it. It just goes. Versus, well, I don't know. Does Hulu have it? Does Netflix have it? Does
Yeah.
HBO have it? Does
And see,
Amazon have it?
Xbox was that good. You say it, if
Right.
anything, it
Well,
pulls
that's
up a
the thing.
list of, like, I got
That's
it
the
here,
thing.
here, and here.
My
You either-
Google does that.
Yeah.
So my Google, I told it, play Chernobyl on the living room TV, and it's like, cool, HBO, here we go. Boom. I was like, play Supernatural. It's all right, Netflix. Here we go.
Occasionally, I have hiccups
So-
where it wants to point towards YouTube instead.
Yeah, I do, and I think there's a real problem with I'm thinking about disconnecting YouTube from my Google because I guess it's because YouTube's Google app might be more tricky than I think it is. But like, I'll say that I want to watch something, and then it shows me like garbage from YouTube that I just don't want.
Did you ever say the words "hey" and "Google" together and at all during that?
No, he said, "Hey, Jeeves."
Oh, you did say it.
I
Okay.
said, "Hey G." I was very careful about
good,
what I
good,
said.
good. I wasn't paying attention, and then I thought of that. So you're
So,
good then.
interesting. I was watching Meet the Robinsons, and they said the word "goob"
Yeah.
instead of Google, and it worked at my house. And then I went to someone else's house and tried it, and it didn't work. It was very interesting.
Do you have any secondary languages enabled?
I don't think so.
Google
Okay.
patches those as they become apparent.
It
and
still
so-
works at my house,
Oh man. So
Yeah.
usually what they do though is if a commercial or something is going to trigger it,
right?
it'll work for like an hour, and then they have
If it happens a lot, I can see
they
that,
get so many like simultaneous triggers,
That are
and so they can
identical.
probably
Yeah.
identify it
Mhm.
from just machine learning,
right.
and then it'll
Right.
take that waveform.
I
and
don't
done.
think people were watching Meet the Robinsons all at the same time.
Yeah,
so,
probably not. So that one might.
And it might work for you just because it might learn to change.
And maybe
The
it has
pronunciations.
something to do with the way that I say
Yeah.
the word Google, which is similar to the word goob, apparently. But yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting that it worked at my house, but not at a friend's house. Because I was like, check this out. You can just say goob instead of Google. And you couldn't. And I looked like an idiot, as usual. Not joking.
Do you have one in the other room still?
Yes.
Okay.
And he's tried it. I was the person he tried it with.
Oh, it didn't work.
No.
It's okay. I can't get mine to trigger half the time, anyways. So even when I say the right words,
I'm liking them a little better than Amazon's assistant.
the Matamate always works for me.
I'd say, like, turn on the Chromecast, and it's like, I can't find
Okay.
the Chromecast.
What I mean by that
I'm like,
is
no.
It always triggers for me. It doesn't always work, but it always
Okay.
triggers for me at least.
My Google hasn't been triggering lately. As
Guess
well
I
as
haven't
it should.
Had issues. My Echoes were giving me lots of issues.
It was super frustrating. Bottom line here, though, I'm kind of excited for it because I'm having a hard time buying the new consoles when I don't even play them. Because I bought a PlayStation 4 in January. I got like halfway through Grand Theft Auto 5, and I played like the first several sections of Spyro, and that's it. Like
With my
I
yeah.
just don't.
I did the same thing with the Xbox One. I got a nice like Halo 5 edition of Xbox One. Played Halo 5. Got the Tomb Raider that was exclusive to Xbox One at the time, even though like 3 months later it was going to come out on PlayStation and PC. And then it's basically sat there. Occasionally I accidentally turn it on with my foot, and it just sits there.
Yeah.
I'll probably buy, like, I think Nintendo, I'll keep buying their stuff, because they always have, they do really good. PlayStation, I might still. Xbox has been underwhelming, because they didn't have any exclusives this generation, or they did, but they were terrible. And
Master Chief was
opinion,
awesome. I know, I'm just kidding. I don't even think I won it. I installed it, and I think that's as far as it's gotten.
My biggest thing with the Xbox, and I don't know if this has changed since I've last used it, to load up anything on there, even to load up like the side menu, like you press the home button out of a game, took forever. Everything was an app.
Yeah, I've never had that.
And on the 360, so maybe it's been fixed, but on the 360, you press buttons, they loaded really fast.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think I might just be getting too old.
I think
doing extra things.
Yeah, different priorities.
I never thought that I'd stop gaming, but like I literally, if you don't count the phone, which a lot of people don't, although
I have no
half
problem
of
counting.
all video games played at this point are played on the phone. So I don't know that you can't say you're not a gamer if all you do is your phone. But anyways, if we don't count games on the phone, then I haven't played a video game in probably 2 or 3 months.
Come on. Microsoft even went to Apple's convention and showed off Minecraft.
Minecraft AR.
Minecraft World.
Minecraft.
World.
Is it World?
It's World.
Is it
No,
out yet?
Earth.
Earth, you're right.
Is it out yet?
No.
Though I figured it out, yeah, I was able
Will
to
it have
get in.
pre-built buildings?
No, and I'm not sure how they work. I think it basically is going to be you have this thing that you're all working on, and you plop it into the world. I was really hoping they would be set in a specific geolocation, and you had to go there to build it. Because in my head, it would have been amazing to go to like the park and then see all the little kids working on this big, huge
That would be really cool.
thing. Or you go like down Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Strip, and there's just a bunch of Minecraft builds up.
Right.
Now, like if they're not going to do that, and it's just a personal thing,
Could you drop it anywhere in the world?
To me,
Well,
it looked
yeah.
like it was world based, and so like in their
in
commercial,
the trailer, yes.
yeah, they've got that girl like
But
skateboarding all over town, and there's all these pre-built things.
I hope that's the case. I realize that if they do that, they open themselves up to people just building a bunch of...
Swastikas. It's just going to be swastikas everywhere. If it's open to everybody, it's just going to be swastikas everywhere.
And I wonder how they're going to
because they're
counteract
really
stuff
easy
like
to
that.
build in Minecraft, and people are jerks. You can't have a server open for more than a couple hours before someone comes in and just puts swastikas
I don't
all
know.
over
We
it.
never built any swastikas when we had our server.
But it wasn't an open server.
Oh, that's fair.
With an AR game, though, I bet you could like click on a building, right? So it's going to be a distinct structure
Right.
or something that's built within a certain time frame. They can identify that with code, and then they could probably have a reporting thing. So like, hey, this structure is bad. Like,
Oh,
get
that's a
rid
fair
of it.
point.
So how would you define a really, really tall tower with a couple bushes between a tallywhacker?
So you'd have to decide where to draw the thing. If it's
Okay.
if it's
You mean a
clearly phallic,
Ah,
then
okay.
you could it could be on a report basis. Maybe they could have some player moderators. The parents of the kids. They don't want their kids building or playing on towers like that. So
Building giant mushrooms.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Synapse.
a feature that's only going to be in the Apple version, at least in the beginning, is they have... So you know what a green screen is? You guys do?
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, a green screen is... It's a green field, green screen, like green background. You stand in front of it, and then they use the green to make it transparent to have backgrounds moving behind you or whatever. They can do basically that, but out in the middle of the world, it captures the person that you're pointing at, and basically makes a green screen appear behind them. Like I'm trying to
It uses
describe
depth
this.
of field to
It basically
to
uses
cut out
depth of
the
field
person.
to cut out the person and place them into the
AR
you
world.
described it way better.
And so is this only going to be a feature of that new Apple phone that's got like the 3 cameras on the
No,
back?
they're just using ARKit.
Okay, so the basic ones that are out today.
So at the first it will be exclusive to iOS just because it hasn't been built into Android. But I'm sure that they'll get that eventually. Not that I think this is a gimmicky feature. I don't think people use it that much, but
We'll find out.
we'll find out. Yeah, I don't think I'll.
It's like
use it
taking
that much.
pictures of your Pokemon.
Which I didn't used to like, but I'm actually enjoying it.
I didn't. I've only used when Detective Pikachu came out.
Oh, really?
But we should probably wrap things up with famous last words.
I can go first.
Yeah, go for it.
So just a classic retro throwback. Super Mario Brothers, like one of their best quotes is "Thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle."
Chili is porridge.
Neighbors ate my zombies.
I got a dirt.
So when they say when life gives you a box of lemons, or a thing, or it gives you lemons, make lemonade. In reality, lemons were made by man. So
No, you're supposed to report. You're supposed to get Life's lemons and talk to their manager, something like that.
I want your lemons.
Yeah,
I'm going to burn your house down with lemons.
got it.
but lemons are man-made. So
Life
life
didn't give
must be
us
really
lemons.
pissed.
We gave life lemons.
Yay, lemons!